as we do try a Coonawarra Shiraz. It is the Zema Estate 2016 from Coonawarra. There's the cracking of the bottle. Very elegant, very royal, regal. Excited to try this. Another Patreon pick. Thanks to our Patreon members for getting around us. A little cheers before we check out the appearance of this wine.
That's right.
It's quite a typical Shiraz, but it's not showing much on the legs, not to jump into it too hard. Red tones.
Red tones, the legs. But again, you see, that's a very good point. The legs are not incredibly thick and full on as you would find in Shiraz, in Barossa.
Can I make a guess?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is a lower alcohol Shiraz.
Okay, lower alcohol Shiraz. Why is that?
Because it just doesn't feel like it's got that certain
in
potency.
In regards to the region, for example.
Oh, for Coonawarra?
Yeah.
Because it's a colder climate.
It's a colder climate rather than Barossa, which is much hotter, much warmer, and it will have a lot more ripeness to the fruit.
I got a high five of colours. I asked for it, but I still got it.
Yeah,
Didn't have to reciprocate the feeling.
That's right. I will not let you hang.
Don't let me hang it. Thank you, brother. Yeah, it does. It does feel like it doesn't have that sort of thickness of what a Shiraz should be. It's also like a little lighter than I expected.
Yeah, remember on a previous episode, or one of the episodes that we recorded about the Italian wine, the Sangiovese. You loved the name, the Vino Nobile de Montepulciano.
The Vino Nobile de Montepulciano.
So you see how the color is kind of a little bit closer to that color. It's a little bit paler, but that goes exactly to say as well the climate. It can be a little bit similar as well. So it's not that big, heavy, rich, warming.
Can I dare say I do see a little, not much, just a bit of age, like a little bit of that clay brick edge. I don't know what year it is.
16.
16.
So a little bit of age as well.
I actually said that at the ststart, but I truly did forget it.
Which I was quite surprised to see this color. I thought it would still be a little bit deeper, but yeah, it's showing beautiful color actually. And you see, I mean, if you maybe try to go back to that episode from the Nobile de Montepulciano, how the flavors smelled much more savory, and that chocolatey, which I think there's chocolate notes here as well, but how the fruit was so much more savory fruit. Then here is like sweet fruit, sweet ripe. Here's jammed fruit, jam and cooked fruit, while on the Sangiovese that we've tried was more savory fruit.
Certainly less intense.
Less intense on the nose as well.
I don't know. You must be putting your nose deep into this glass because I'm just not getting that.
It's different. Here is a sweet sense of ripeness of the fruit, and with the Italian was a savory sense of fruit. It's here. It's ripe, black fruit, ripe, black currant, ripe black plum, black cherry, chocolate notes, but the sense of the ripeness of the fruit is sweeter than it was on the Italian, for instance. By comparison, the Italian seemed more like the cured meat, the charcuterie that we've mentioned, the truffly, the earthy, and then again later on the roasted coffee bean, almost a bitter coffee bean, right from the nose. It was so powerful when you put the nose into it. Here, it's like not quite as powerful, and the nature of the fruit is sweet here for me. So this is how I would distinguish between old world and new world. This for me is new world from the get-go, with the nature of the ripeness of the fruit, which is really ripe. It's new world. This is new world style.
Okay. Can we taste?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's taste.
Oh, see you, mate. Like hanging.
And also on the palate, you see how there's sweetness to it. It is dry, but there's sweetness of the fruit. The nature is sweet.
Okay. Let's go through our structures. Test me.
Sweetness.
It's a dry wine. Thanks for giving me the answer, teacher.
It is a dry wine. Acidity. Be careful. don't be deceived by acidity here, because it's very, very deceiving when you have warm alcohol, full-bodied. Acidity can be deceiving. Think about, we are in a cooler climate.
It's a medium acidity. Carlos is having a drink. You're going to say medium plus, aren't you? Yeah. Took a risk.
Yeah, it's medium plus, but again, it's hidden by the nature of the fruit, which is sweet. So again, remember when...
that's what you were saying. It could be deceiving.
It could be deceiving because of the ripeness of the fruit, the intensity of the ripeness of the fruit again, which is sweet nature. The acidity level feels less than what it is, and it is medium plus.
Sweet. Well, not sweet, dry. What do we have? Body?
Body, yeah.
It's medium plus body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is medium plus body in here. You see how the Italian, for example, again by comparison, and hope you guys at home taste both wines. But the Italian was just like really mouth coating, and it was full bodied. You did call medium plus at first, I think. On that wine. Here, it feels lighter on the palate.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's still pretty up there. It's not medium body, when you consider Pinot Noir, for example, that could be medium body or light. Here, it's way more than that, but it's also not quite that mouth coating, really full on for some of the wines we tried. So yeah, medium plus.
Tannins are quite high. I would say definitely medium plus minimum of tannins. The drying of the mouth is, for me, quite pronounced.
Mm-hmm. Tannins. Tannins medium plus as well.
Yeah.
Tannins medium plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not soft. They're not soft, fine grained tannins. Pinot Noir like, definitely. Also not as harsh, high as a Nebbiolo or the Sangiovese that we tried. This is they're a little bit softer, a little bit finer grained even.
You know what? Here's how I would assess them.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the complexity of the taste of the Montepulciano.
Okay. But
I think a wider audience will appreciate the Zema estate Shiraz more.
Yeah, I must agree with you. It's a much more, I would say, Australian taste, the Shiraz of the Coonawarra.
Yeah.
The sweet nature of the fruit, the I think less complexity overall. I think it's on the Coonawarra. And I think it's a more approachable wine, yes, for the Australian market. However, I do think that the Sangiovese, for that matter, is more complex. There's more layers of flavors. It's not that ripe, juicy fruit that we have here, like that raspberry, that blackcurrant, black plum, that is quite jammed, is sweet nature. I think with the Sangiovese, for that matter, there was more layers of flavors. There was the oak, there was smoke, there was earthy, there was truffle and mushroom, there was the cured meat. There was like so many different layers of flavors. But in saying that, doesn't mean that, again, the intensity and the longevity of the flavor was very long, because I don't think it was super long. And perhaps it is a $30 bottle of wine or under. I think here it's the fruit feels like it's lingering a little bit more, but it's more one dimension than several different dimensions, if that makes sense.
100%. You explained way better than I could. I think the Montepulciano goes perfect with like a charcuterie board. Mm-hmm. And I mean that in the sense of...
And dried cheese
That's what
and
I'm saying.
charcuterie.
So you have a bite of food that it's not a meal. You're not consistently eating a meal. You're having a bit of here, having some wine with it, and both of those experiences end quickly. You have a bite of cheese, literally a mouthful, then you go into a conversation for 10 minutes, you might come back. Whereas I feel like if I sat down for a meal and was going to be consistently going back to the wine to look at a pairing, I just don't think the Montepulciano for me would have lasted against some of the big boys of food. Whereas I'm interested to know what you would pair this with for sure.
The porterhouse with a lot of ground black pepper.